Haslam's going to come down on Sunday, October 5th. And he says, I want Shedeur to play against Minnesota. And the staff's going to say, we're in London.
The injury and his thoughts on Shedeur Sanders. Now, the quarterback room obviously is crowded over there in Cleveland. You got.
If Kenny Pickett starts, that tells me everything. That tells me Kevin Stefanski knows this could be his final season. The clock is ticking, the walls are closing in, and Jimmy Haslam isn't waiting. Word out of Cleveland is loud and clear. Start Shedeur Sanders or start packing. Buckle up, because this isn't just a quarterback controversy. This is a franchise showdown. The Haslam Ultimatum, October 5th. Mark that in. That's when it all comes crashing down. The Browns are 1-3, maybe 0-4. They've just returned from London, jet-lagged and embarrassed after another road loss. Joe Flacco couldn't get it done. Kenny Pickett flinched under pressure. And then Jimmy Haslam walks down from the owner's box and delivers one message. I want Shedeur Sanders starting next week against Minnesota. But the staff pushes back. He's not ready. They say the trip overseas was too much, too fast, just one more week. Let us ease him in. And so they buy themselves a sliver of time. But when week 6 hits, October 12th, the Shedeur era begins. Or so we think. Because behind closed doors, things are far from certain. The headlines are exploding, and Shedeur Sanders at center of growing turmoil inside Brown's organization. Reports leak. Tensions rise. Stefanski's decision to consider Kenny Pickett as QB1 over Sanders, it's not just controversial, it's potentially job-ending. According to league insiders, that one move, choosing Pickett over Shedeur, could fracture the locker room, ignite a media storm, and put Stefanski's future in jeopardy. This is a disaster, one insider said. If either Shedeur or Dillon Gabriel start and fail, Stefanski gets fired. But if they succeed and he didn't start them sooner, he still gets fired. The pressure? Crushing. The margin for error? Non-existent. Enter Dan Orlovsky. NFL analyst, former quarterback, a voice of reason in a sea of chaos. On his show, Orlovsky lays it out clearly. If Shedeur Sanders or Dillon Gabriel is showing any promise in practice, if they're making the right reads, throwing with rhythm, then Stefanski has to start them. And then Dean Schaefer appears on set next, and Stefanski has to start them. No hesitation. He's not talking about a gamble, he's talking about survival. Orlovsky's message is clear. You're not just risking games anymore, you're risking your job, your legacy, your grip on the locker room. Let them play. Let them prove it. And for Stefanski, that warning is deafening. And now comes the real heat. Ownership has spoken. This isn't just rumor mill chatter anymore. This isn't just fan noise. Jimmy Haslam wants Shedeur Sanders as the Browns' starting quarterback. Period. Colin Cowherd, love him or hate him, confirmed it. Shedeur has become the favorite. Not because he's flashy, not because he's Deion's son, but because he's the best shot Cleveland has at shaking the curse. Behind the scenes, ownership is reportedly preparing to push hard. No more easing in. No more slow development. Shedeur is the now, not the future. Camp battle, Shedeur versus Gabriel, back in training camp, it was a fair fight. At least on paper. Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, both rookies, both hungry, both drafted just picks apart. But that battle didn't last long. As the days rolled on, Shedeur began pulling ahead. Accuracy, poise, control. Meanwhile, Gabriel struggled under pressure. His height, a known concern, began showing on tipped throws. His deep ball faltered. In red zone drills, he hesitated. Shedeur didn't. The edge became obvious. Stefanski's draft maneuver? Here's where it gets murky. Multiple sources now suggest that Kevin Stefanski actually tried to avoid this whole Shedeur scenario by intentionally drafting Dillon Gabriel just before Sanders. A smokescreen? A power play? Gabriel went in the 3rd. Shedeur landed 2 picks later in the 5th. Coincidence? Maybe. But league insiders don't think so. They say Stefanski tried to block Shedeur from Cleveland altogether, but Jimmy Haslam stepped in again, and Shedeur still landed in brown and orange. Stefanski lost the chess match before it even started. Now the consequences are showing. It's not just Stefanski. Word is, the Browns front office, including GM Andrew Berry, is also hesitant to hand the reins to Shedeur immediately. Not because they doubt his talent, but because they fear the fallout if he flames out too early. Their solution? Slow play him. Buy time. Delay the inevitable. But Colin Cowherd doesn't buy it. He calls Shedeur's rise unstoppable, a force not just of football skill, but of media magnetism, leadership, and belief. In his words, the Browns don't just want wins, they want headlines. And Shedeur, he's both. Let's be honest. Shedeur Sanders isn't just a quarterback. He's a brand. High-profile name, NIL millionaire, 5M Instagram followers, primetime DNA. His rise doesn't just move the chains, it sells jerseys, fills stadiums, and lands Cleveland in primetime slots. And Haslam? He's seen this story before. He backed Baker, he backed Deshaun, now he's backing Shedeur. History repeats itself, loudly. Remember, Shedeur was a 5th-round pick. That usually means one thing: scout team reps. 3rd-string clipboard duty: sit, learn, grow. But fast forward to now, he's surpassed all expectations. His presence in the locker room, his reads and drills, his confidence in team scrimmages. Coaches say he doesn't look like a rookie. He looks like a leader, and yet he still runs with the 4s. Why? Because Stefanski is cautious, methodical, conservative to a fault, and that caution may be his downfall. A decision that could cost it all if Stefanski ignores Shedeur's momentum, if he clings to Pickett or Flacco out of fear, if he waits too long. He's not just putting his job at risk, he's putting the Browns' season and possibly the franchise direction prospectively at the stadium in jeopardy. This isn't just about a quarterback anymore. This is about power. Who runs the show in Cleveland, the coaching staff or the ownership box? The rise of Shedeur, make no mistake, Shedeur Sanders has arrived. Not quietly, not accidentally, but with thunder. He's outshining veterans, outcommanding huddles, outworking expectations. The owners see it, the players feel it, the fans are begging for it. Shedeur is no longer a rookie prospect. He's a symbol, a signal, a potential savior. And if Stefanski doesn't act now, someone else will. Should Shedeur Sanders be the starting quarterback right now? Or is Kevin Stefanski right to slow roll him into the spotlight? Is this a smart organizational pivot or a branding gamble that could blow up? Let us know in the comments. This drama isn't going anywhere, and neither is Shedeur Sanders. Subscribe for more, like if you want Shedeur to start, and we'll see you next time.